my name is Susan. Today I will continue talking about the year we're in, 2023, and some concepts that I've been talking a lot about in my Swedish channel, but that I'm now catching up with in English. So be prepared for a lot of information again in this video. So let's get started. Now we are in 2023, and this is far into the process that humanity is going through right now. That is the big transition when people are waking up. And that's the whole reason why I came here and that I'm actually talking about the things that I do. I remember coming to this place, and my purpose of being here is that I wanted to be a part of this big transition when people are waking up. And when I came here, I got a good explanation about how all of this would take place. And at the end of the process, you will see the outside getting darker and darker. And at the same time, humanity and those who are waking up will give light from within, and the light will be equal to the darkness, meaning people are waking up from within. And the process is over when the outside is basically completely dark, anti-life, as I'm describing it as. That is everything that is opposite to life. No creativity, no love. Robots instead of people, I was going to say. But it's going to be everything that is basically the opposite to life. Instead of love, you're going to have fear and separation. And basically everything that you are witnessing now on the outside. Creativity is gone. Usually compared to the 80s when everything was still perhaps creative and there was still love, there was still something there that made it worth living. But now what we see is something that we don't want to be a part of anymore. The outside is quickly becoming darker, and people are also waking up. And that's the reason why I'm here, and I'm trying my best to guide people through what is going to happen right now. So maybe it makes a more sense and you can have a nice experience through all of this. So for 2023, I have been talking about some specific things that will happen. One of these things is that a lot of stuff will start to become easier. And I also compare this to that we will have new technology. And by new technology, I do not mean new fancy gadgets, but it will sort of be possible for humanity to do things they haven't done before. And this is because technology is related to the development of a being. So if you are in a certain state of being, you have access to certain technology. Like, for example, now you are alive and then you believe you die. You have to hunt for your food. Then you're going to have that sort of energy. You have to bicycle to get energy. You have to work to get energy. But eventually, as you become more yourself, as this expands, as the heart expands, your head, you don't resist anymore. And you get all these connections in your head going, kind of change states. And when you change your state of being, also things will start to become easier where you are then. And it will also include better technology, so to say. And more than that, in 2023, I also said there will be a larger presence of ships. And they will begin by coming down in communities. And what do I mean by that? No, when I talk about ships, I do not have the movie concept of ships like big metal machines landing on your front yard with tentacles, blue beings stepping out of that machine and greeting you, and you look what hell is that? I don't mean that. I don't have that concept of ships or UFOs as other people perhaps do. And no, I don't think anyone who has an inner connection with other entities believe that's the case either. I really don't believe so. I have no memory whatsoever, and I have a lot of memories of ever landing on a planet, of landing physically on a planet, stepping out of the ship and go about there. I have no such recollections. Instead, you go down to a dimension, you become that state, you are in that state of being. When you enter there, you You don't come there in a machine, if that makes sense. So for me, when I talk about ships, it's easy for me to describe it like this. Think about it like a group and a community. And this community is sort of the ship. And it's like you, but in a higher state. So it's like you, the life you have here, but in a higher state. And there you are more in community, and you know each other better. And that is like the concept of ships for me. So it's the same when people say, Susan, every time you said that, oh, they usually talk to me about this and this, who are you referring to? Who are you talking to when you refer to, I just spoke with them and they said, yeah, who am I talking to? Basically, my gang, my family, my group. And yeah, sometimes you have visited people that are far more wiser, and there are councils and there are all these sort of things. But they're still friends. And I don't see them as something other than me. I don't see them as something alien. Not more than I see you as alien. And so when I say that ships will start coming down 2023, more obvious than before, it will be like sense of your friends coming closer. And I will also give more concrete examples of that, because it's a bit more than that. I realize that it's a big deal when this happens, and it won't be a presence that happens all over Earth. It will start happening in communities. And why that is the reason is that communities that are forming now with like-minded people who are starting to wake up, they have another energy. They are already sort of in another state. So every place where humans are now, where they are starting to live in a different way, where they're starting to become closer to themselves. Maybe you are just 2 people or 3 people. Maybe you are a group of 10 people. Maybe even more. Maybe you are alone in a little cottage. But you are sort of now reaching your higher state. All these places are likely to experience the presence of ships coming down, and that will actually facilitate a whole lot of other stuff than you've been able to do before. And I will soon come to a great example of this and what you can expect. There are a lot of things I need to say to catch up on this English channel. One of these things is how this reality sort of is configured. I always describe this place as an illusion state, and I guess that is not that super helpful for people. I said that when I came down here, I felt it was the 3rd sub-level to a nightmare state. So not only did I feel it was a dream, I feel it was like a nightmare. And I didn't feel it was even a bad state of existence. I thought it was a real illusion state of existence. And I haven't changed my mind. This place is, the best way to describe it is that it is a duality. It's an existence in duality, and it represents your relationship to life. Every state of being is you kind of affirming your own identity, who you are. And as you affirm who you are, your sort of reality represents that notion of who you are. Because who you say you are and your identity is the same as your relationship to life, to other people, to the world. And therefore you are in this. And basically everyone who's here has the same configuration in their head of duality. It doesn't matter how creative you are. It doesn't matter if you came here with a brain damage of some sort. You're still gonna experience this place as a duality. And I tried to explain that when I came down here, I was confused about this way of existence with the duality. I didn't understand this being awake and going to sleep. Day and night, I was going to say. Obviously I could see that it was light outside and then it became dark. But I experienced it in another way, because I so clearly saw that this was a result of the duality that existed here. That people believed in life and then they were going to die. And it looked so similar to sun going up and sun going down. It looked so similar to them being awake and getting more tired the closer they came to going to bed, just like an old person, and then falling asleep, disappearing, just to reawaken here again. But people didn't see it like that because they were so used to it, configured. This is a duality, this is reality. But no, it's not. And now we are actually starting to leave this duality. And what's going to happen now, and what people are start going to experience now, is that slowly your inner self is going to communicate to you in a different way. When the dumb view, I was going to say, because I call that in the Swedish channel, I refer to our conscious selves as our dumb parts, because this part is not smart. This part can drink one bottle too many and just walk out of a cliff and kill himself. That's what's possible in the stupid part of ourselves, the conscious part of ourselves. Because, I mean, yet your conscious part doesn't even understand the body. The body is so extremely complex, in perfect harmony, and has understood everything to be perfectly functional. And this part only tries to create still conflict, and is not so smart yet. So this part of you will try to stay in this so-called normal world. You will get the impressions from your head to continue doing what you always did, continue to stress, continue to work as you always done. You have to do something, especially now with the crisis. You have to gather food, you have to maybe build a cottage in the forest to save yourself, or you have to come up with some smart plan to survive. No, that part of you is starting to be over. It's over. It's time to let go of it. That's why I also see many people now going through this separation anxiety. So many people I know now here in Sweden, they are sick or experience being sick for a very long time. They are tired. Some people are depressed and they feel a bit low in energy. They don't understand why I feel low, why I feel this depression. You are leaving this state of being, and you kind of feel weird about it. Even if you will not even miss it, you will feel maybe a bit sadness. And also many people, I heard in Sweden here the last week, are starting to clean their house, clean their life, organize everything, get everything cleaned up. Why are they doing that? It makes a lot of sense, because in your mind now you feel like you've invested so much in this life. Obviously you have memories, you have investments in things, people in your life, everything. Well, of course the people are not gonna disappear ever, because relationships is the only thing that exists in the universe and they always grow. But all your stuff, all your memories of this place scattered all over, your whole inner system is giving you the call that it's time to move on now. It's time to say goodbye and move on. So it makes perfectly sense that you now say, okay, I have to make this transition easier. So you gather everything you have. You clean up and tidy up everything. You organize everything in your old life until everything you have is sort of just a carry luggage that you leave in the hallway, ready to go. If it is tomorrow or the next day, I don't care. It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like, oh, tomorrow I leave. It's not going to be like that. But mentally, you are prepared. You have organized your whole life. There's nothing to look back on anymore. And you're kind of prepared. You're kind of there. Because this process, for those who have decided to came here to wake up, this process will go on no matter what this dumb conscious part of you tries to do. No, you can't fail to wake up. If your higher self, if you in sync has already decided that you came here to wake up, and if you're watching a video like this, of course you've decided to wake up, then it's going to happen either way. But your choice in how easy this is going to be it's easier the more you start listening to yourself. Don't try to fight it. So, I already said that maybe you feel sick right now, or low on energy, or a bit depressed, or you feel like you don't want to hang out with people at this moment. Why don't you want to hang out with people at this moment? Because you are in this process. If you are cleaning up the pieces of your life here, it makes perfectly sense that it's not a good time to go out partying. You kind of want to have it done. And when you have left your luggage there, yeah, I think it feels pretty good now. You can go out and hang out with your friends again. And this time, it's gonna feel different because you're gonna feel closer to them. Because this is what happens step by step. The closer you come to yourself, the closer you come to other people, the closer you come to life. It is one relationship, not many. One. It's the same reason if you pass someone on the street and you kind of felt, oh, I should have given that person a smile or said hello, and you didn't, you just walk past, you feel bad about it. Why? It's just one person. No, it's every person. It's one relationship and you're always feeling it. If you act natural, you're just gonna act natural about it and you're gonna stop resisting yourself. Things will go so much easier, believe me. So, in this process, you're probably gonna feel all of these things. And you're also gonna feel that maybe an apathy to do things that you used to do before. Because remember, your whole system is preparing to leave this place. So if this part of you is trying to hold on to it, then this part of you is going to have a heavy job to do, and it's not gonna work. So this part of you, maybe, as I said, try to stress you, say you should do this, you have to do this, otherwise you can't survive, you have to do this and this and this. And this part of you says, no. And you might feel this sensation of you trying to grip a soap and it just slips through your fingers. Maybe you will even feel that it's more even difficult to try to hold on to the old. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. This old place is soon bye-bye. And it's interesting because my boyfriend, he also has a YouTube channel, and he is what you can call the alternative media. He's digging up everything that happens in the news and try to tell the truth about everything. And the interesting stuff about this is what you notice when you start researching. Okay, they say this on the news. Let's do my own research, and you start digging up the facts. What do you realize? You realize it's all a lie. Not one word they're saying is true. And some people say, yeah, it's just because they're lying, and yeah. But I also once said that it's you who raised this outside society and world. You wonder who the gatekeepers is? You tell me, you are paying them. This place, this whole, stay stuck here. It's the idea that comes from this part of you. Not this, mind you. This part. So this part of you raised all of that. And now, as you sort of want to wake up, you're calling on the lies. And you're discovering it. And it doesn't even feel real anymore. It's almost like this part of you is giving up trying to fool you anymore because it's too obvious. And it's too destructive. And yeah, it's not a good state of being, this we created here. It really isn't. So, just like a mathematician, I'm saying, if you're a mathematician and you love what you do, if you start digging more enough, you become a religious, spiritual person because you find God. I would say the same when you start researching and everything is said and you realize it's all a lie. Everything starts to become obvious. So, no. If your inner self is telling you to let go, trust that process and be nice to yourself in this process. Because this place, if I would describe it as anything, I already tried to say it's a duality, and that's a good way of understanding what this place is. Duality will start to fade. And basically every concept that you have in your reality is a concept built in this duality state. So when the duality starts to crack, all the concepts start to crack. All of this reality starts to crack. And the best way of noticing this, apart from you going to see the outside getting more and more crazy and non-comprehensible and anti-life, is what you're going to start feeling on the inside. Because suddenly you're going to start feelings of harmony, of love, of happiness, of comfort, of not feeling afraid, not feeling stressed. Because the real you are emerging, and it's saying bye-bye to separation, fear, anxiety, attacks. There is no more anyone chasing someone and someone running. That place, that time is over. So this feeling that you will have seem almost unrealistic to have it here. But soon, these good feelings that you feel inside here is going to be all of your existence, even on the outside. And that's what we're slowly transitioning into. So therefore I say, yes, listen to your inside. Maybe silence this one a bit when it starts to push, but your inner side is feeling, I don't feel like doing it anymore. Great, that's a really good sign. That's a really good sign. And now I also want to explain this concept of love and the opposite, fear. To understand love and fear is really, really, really good, because it will enable you to come more in contact, I believe, with reality and how it's played. Because love and fear is actually on the same spectrum. So anytime when you feel fear, you're also gonna feel more separated. You're gonna feel more alone. And often more pain and obstacles and difficult stuff in your life. And the more you can break this and go to the love part of the spectrum, the more this is gonna fade. And why I talk about this is because you can actually practice this yourself. I often give the the example, if you are, for example, hitting your foot in the door and your toes are aching, try to direct your attention to your toes that are aching and say, love, acceptance, I won't attack, I've never been separated. Love, acceptance, love, acceptance. I don't attack, I've never been separated. Love, acceptance. You just say this and hold this focus. Because what you're doing is that you're changing the spectrum. Pain is connected to everything that is belonging here in the spectrum. Pain is the same as fear and separation. And you can actually try this. If you pinch yourself, can you feel that this feeling of pain is actually the feeling of fear? Can you feel the fear in the stomach? Can you feel it? So if you can combat, not the pain, but if you can combat fear, and you can, because you reverse fear by thinking of love, acceptance, no separation, I've never been separated. And why do I say this, I've never been separated? Because that's the strongest thing you can say to combat this duality state and this sense of attack, fear and stress. I've never been separated. It takes away the illusion, takes away the attack, and love is there. So try to combat fear and see how pain magically dissolves. And I've done this so many times here, and it's great because I can be quite clumsy, or whatever aches you can have, toothache or whatever. And yes, I would go as far as to say that you can cure basically everything, because in a state of harmony there will be no disease either. But I am not saying it's easy. I'm not saying just think about love and all your pains goes away. The greater the pain you experience, the greater the job to changing that fear into love probably gonna be. But you can exercise it. You can start. So I often suggest start with something small, and once you get a grip of it, it works. Try it on more challenging things, greater pains or obstacles. Try it on every obstacle and pain that you encounter. Change it into love, non-separatedness, non-attack. And this spectrum is so strong, and it absolutely works, because that's how reality is built. It works on anything. So, for example, if you oh, a little orb is flying around in the room. Okay, no distraction. You can try it on anything. If you are feeling alone, for example, then think this: love, acceptance, I'm not attacking, and you can see how this feeling also goes away. Because when I really started to use this of love and fear, because I usually think back on past lives. It's possible not to do so. It keeps flashing back on me, and especially when I need to remember stuff. I remember being hurt and alone, like lying in a cave, like deadly injured. So that's the whole experience of the worst state of this fear, pain and separation. Because the more pain I felt, the more alone I felt. It makes sense, doesn't it? And I was afraid. But if any of these feelings go, if fear goes, if separation goes, so does pain. And it's really amazing how this is. I remember, apart from that life, when I think back on it, it was really a horrible feeling of feeling this separated and dying alone. Even on the battlefield, if you see someone deadly injured, you feel the need to go there and hold this person's hand and to be together with them as they pass on. It just makes sense. I remember another life. I have a lot of lifetimes of strife and combat. So bear with me. These are the terminology I understand best. But I also learned the most about life through those lifetimes. I remember a past life. I was a leader of a group of men. There was a fight coming up, and I led my men through many fights. And I noticed a lot of things about life and death as I did that. That particular night, we were going to fight at sunrise. I wanted to install some kind of courage in my men to make them feel good, to make them feel strong before what was going to take place. And I noticed how I couldn't get contact with them. I looked at them, tried to look in their eyes, but they looked past me, like they weren't there. Because in their head, they were thinking about tomorrow I might die. And I realized they were feeling separation and alone. They weren't there. I couldn't create togetherness with them because they were somewhere else. Yeah, there are a lot of things to say about those experiences of life and death when you kind of get what life is, I guess. And you kind of wake up when you are living to what life is. Yeah, sure, I mean, after you pass on to the other side, you can always go back, you see what happened, you see what other people did as a reaction to what you did. And you kind of take that to heart. But when you wake up while being, so to speak, alive in an experience like this. It's a really awesome thing. But it happens by steps. You constantly realize new things. And every time you realize a new thing, start applying it. Because that's how it becomes real, for real. I always speak to my Swedish audience about this a lot. You're gonna have times when you suddenly understand something and you feel great, my life's never gonna be the same again. And then the day after or the week after, you think again, you feel low about yourself. What happened? Am I stupid again? No, you're not stupid again. You actually realize something, and that's great. But you always go down to your most stupid part, because that's the part of you that needs help. So no matter what revelations you have, as long as there still are parts of you that you have to work with, to teach, you're gonna go down to your most stupid part, I was going to say, with a bit humor, and that part needs to be processed. So you keep on doing this. But every revelation you have, every understanding, wow, is meant for you to be a teacher to you, to teach yourself, to help yourself. Make sense? So that part can then be applied to the part that needs help. So you are your own super coach. And yeah, we have each other. I can stand here and talk and come with suggestions. But you are the one who's going to feel inspired and saying, yeah, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do this, and you are strong. If you weren't strong, you wouldn't be here. And I also happen to know that you are eternal and have done a lot of stuff. So cool, great that you are here. This is a really cool place to be in. A lot of people wanted to come here now to help. And this is gonna be a great experience, even how chaotic the outside gonna be. But this is like the end of a movie. At the end of the movie, everything seems to be very dark, and then comes the great finale, and everyone is living happy ever after at the end of it. Yeah, it seems like a cliche, but that's pretty much how it is actually. Well, let's get back to this spectra. Is the spectra understood? You can apply it in any situation where you encounter fear, separation, pain, or obstacles. Just go in there and do the opposite. Love, acceptance, and don't attack. I have never attacked, I've never been separated. And why I say it like this, I've never been separated. I don't attack, I don't judge. Because that's the strongest thing you can say. It kind of eliminates everything in the sense of the idea of separation, where all these problems exist. And it can be especially important if you feel afraid, like if you would actually be afraid that someone would be attacking you. If you would be afraid of, I don't know, a demonic attack, something coming at you. Just say, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Susan, how is that gonna help? If you try it, try saying, I'm innocent. Can you feel how you actually don't feel as afraid? You don't feel as attacked? Because nothing can attack you if you haven't attacked first. And if you say you're innocent, you are zeroing both you and that other party. Becomes nullified. I'm innocent. That's also why I've given this suggestion that if you really want to come close to yourself fast, just go out among people and don't defend yourself. Just go on like this and say to yourself, I'm not gonna defend myself anymore. Because usually, when we keep lies, we go out amongst people, we are kind of on our guard with how we are dressed, how we are in our attitude. We kind of expect someone's gonna say something. But no, not this time. This time I'm not gonna defend myself. Why? Because I have nothing to hide. And if I'm trying to hide something and pretend to be something that I'm not, I'm gonna expect an attack. And the attack will surely come, because it will attack my lie, which is an attack on other people. Yeah, it is a judgment, because you're actually gonna see other people as enemies, because why else are you protecting yourself? But this, I'm not gonna attack. All these walls are gonna crumble, and you're gonna get closer to yourself and closer to the people around you, your brothers and sisters, and closer to life, and closer to understanding. Yeah, you're actually gonna start understanding things that this separated you can never do. It can plot to try to survive, but it can never understand anything, not really. And some people say, no, you always have to protect yourself because you can get a lot of evil energies and all of other kind of stuff. People's evil energy is coming to attack you and be put on you. No, absolutely not. If I believed that, I would never have done that. I would be dead by now, by so many times I've done this. No, actually nothing's gonna happen, because you're not attacking. If you're constantly thinking you're going to be attacked, it means you're attacking. So just try this, see what happens. This is the fastest way. Might be scary, totally works to get in contact with yourself fast. If you're like me, very impatient. The same if you want to be aligned with your life. Just say out loud to yourself, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in my life right now. And life might respond, but that is so not true. And you are thinking, I'm so much lying right now. I'm not in the workplace I want to be. I'm not in the relationship. I'm not in the home I want to be. I'm lying. Just say, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in life. Because what happens if you say that and you let go, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in my life. life will sort of get its OCD, come and grab you and align you so that you are exactly where you're supposed to be with yourself and everything. It kind of works, so you can try that as well, but be prepared for everything that happens. And this part might want to hold on to the old stuff, even if you do not really want it anymore. So, what else did I try to explain in this video? I talked some about the ships. I should probably talk a bit more about this. As we are now in 2023, we have done a lot since it really started in 2020, 2021 and 2022. People have started to rethink their lives in 2020. It was the big retreat here. 2021, people are stepping out of the closet, showing their true colors. Oh my god, you're not gonna take this syringe thing. Oh my god, who are you? Yeah, I'm pro-life, thank you for asking. So that was a great division. Who choose the outside logic and who choose the inside logic, the light logic. In 2022, a lot of focus on cleansing the blockages, and that is basically the biggest thing you're doing right now, is getting rid of blockages. As I said, the things that were easy to work with on yourself, you've already done. Now is the toughest parts that are left. But you will be helped by confronting these, by being put into choices when you basically have to choose about everything. It will be a choice that you can't avoid. And that will help you to deal with the stuff you haven't dealt with. And some of these blockages is, as I said, what kind of defines this reality. So some of these blockages, as they will start to resolve, will also start to resolve the conscious you and the bridge between the conscious you and the subconscious you. So soon there will be no more dumb you. It will start to be the more integrated you. The heart will speak, so to speak. You will be you. Separation is over. So great things are going to take place. And yeah, you're going to be a part of it. So there is really no reason now to focus on the outside. It's really no reason. And the fear you might feel right now about everything here, about money, about work, about people, your family, that is exactly that. Fear. And the reason why we feel fear is that we try to keep on to the separation. We're not trying to find a solution. We're trying to hold on to something that makes us put in this separation. You still have a desire to this place, what money could do for you, what this society could do for you, but it actually never did anything of real value to you or the people closest to you, the way it could be, the way humanity's life could be and should be. So by daring to see another way, by daring to listening to this, when these musts and shoulds comes in, by daring to listening to this, you're gonna feel the new way that we are arriving into. So it's time to let that happen. Yeah, let's call it a day. More in the next video. I think I've said what I planned to say in this video and even more. So to not make it completely full in your head, we're gonna talk more about this in the next video. Have a great day. See you!